The sun starts to go down earlier, and the wind starts to blow. A cold chill takes over the land, and deep down, in the heart of man, it is understood that it is time to hunt.
And Sean's got another one on. Keep fighting, keep fighting. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. What is up, Truax fam? How you guys doing? So this is kind of exciting. It is our first episode of the 2024 archery season in a new state, obviously in Oregon, and we're gonna see if we can't get things going. So today is a special episode because we found a local archery shop, and you guys know we like to deal with local archery shops. Kind of local. There actually aren't a whole lot of options in Oregon as far as archery shops go. We found one. The closest one was one that seems to be owned by a really nice guy. I talked to him. I called him ahead of time and said, hey, I'm coming out, but I have a YouTube channel. We want to film an episode. And he was really cordial about it. Says they have a great reputation. They've been there for years and years and years. So yeah, the place we're going to is called Broken Arrow Archery. In Milwaukee. They've been here for a long time, and there's not, like I said, there's not very many other options. I believe there was one in Tigard, and then there was also one in Salem, but that's it. I mean, there's no, like, I haven't found like backwoods archery shops or anything like that. It's mostly just in the cities, so we got to figure out what we got to do. But yeah, so we're gonna go in there in just a minute. We're here a little bit early, and we are going to see if we can't get the bows ready. I'm taking my bow in. I'm gonna change out my rest. My whisker biscuit, for some reason, has been tearing up my nocks. This is the second whisker biscuit I've used, and it's causing the same problem. And I don't know if, like, because the nock had a little tear, maybe it messed up the whiskers, or whatever, but it doesn't seem to do it in Philip's bow. And Philip is actually here too. Say hi, buddy.
Hello.
And he's actually going to get his we got his bow a year ago, and he's already vastly outgrown his draw weight and his draw length. That's what happens with kids, and so we're going to take his in. We're going to get his draw length increased. We're going to get his draw weight upped, and get him going too. So hopefully this will be a great experience. So let's get in there and see what happens. So if you come here, the parking's kind of on the other side. How's it going?
Going pretty good.
So your name was again?
Luke.
Luke. Tom. Awesome. And yeah, I think well, I need to kind of run down some prices. Like, what's just a normal setup to get his bow adjusted, and make sure it's tuned in for his.
Well, if you got all the accessories that you need, it would just be a $40 labor fee.
Okay.
For a basic tune.
Cool.
We've got a $10 D-loop and a $1 piece knock sets there, so it's 12 extra bucks. So 52 is pretty common.
Okay.
For a basic tune fee for us. And if we have to redo the center, that adds an extra 15, so 67 is pretty common as well.
Okay. All right. Cool. So yeah, I guess we can start with his then.
Yeah, I'll check over here. I'll get heavy ground here. I got for you.
What'd you say? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'll check them over here, and I have an arrow for you. So I'd just rather you pull back with an arrow in it, just in case. I'm sure you got great trigger discipline, but just that 1 in a million is all.
Right. Yeah. Other side then.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten to practice much since we moved here. We just moved here from Michigan 8 months ago.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
I remember Chuck was saying that. Yeah, I'm from New York myself.
Oh, right on.
I'll have you step up to the apple for me just so Joe can get in and out if he needs to. High density hunters out in Michigan.
Oh, yeah. I was actually shocked that archery doesn't seem to be much of a thing in Oregon.
Too much. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, I discovered that too when I was out here. It's not that it's not necessarily a thing. It's just there's way less shops, like the amount of like big shops, like archery, part of the bow rack, stuff like that. And in Portland, we've got like 3 or 4. That's just about it. I mean, it's not necessarily. I know there's maybe one in Salem, and then it's Pooch Archery down in the Anthill. But yeah, it's just kind of
Like,
weird.
online presence, just trying to find one. I've only found 3. You guys, I think one in Tigard and one in Salem.
So, okay. Well, I'm going to kick you out as far as we can. So we got go here.
And then he pulled mine back. Mine's set at 60, which I want to raise mine up to 70. So if you can put his at a 60-pound draw weight, I think he'd be ideal for him.
So I'm going to have some technical stuff to go over with you too. So I can adjust the bow, and then if I were to make some adjustments on you too, I think that would really, really help us just lock into. So I'll just make it a little easier on the bow to kind of get us there. Maybe you can go step by step. I might kick it out like an inch and see where that leaves us, and then I've got another inch to go too.
Okay.
All right, and so as far as an anchor point, just bring it up and lock it in somewhere. Have you developed a spot for yourself in the past, or are you familiarizing? Okay, right on. What do you think about?
Get his kisser button in and.
Right on. So as far as the kisser button I see you have on there, I think that that would be in a position to be much more usable and effective if you were to take that knuckle right here. And as far as on the cheekbone there, if you were to take it back a couple inches, I like to go underneath that earlobe, and poking it out seems a little silly, but it's a really specific thing that it's a nice thing to do. That should put that kisser button more often than not, rather, right about the corner of your mouth. Yep, and allow that elbow to bend if you have to. Yep, right on, and then so bring the bow up so it's as level as possible. Right on, touch that nose of the string if you can. Right on, cool. And so with all those, I think I'll have you let down for me. Thank you so much. You got some long arms on you. I think I'll just take out that last inch. I like that a whole lot more. It's going to feel kind of like crap at first. It's just something you're not used to. But taking that back there is going to allow you to use, once that string goes back and forms that V here, it's going to allow you to use a wider part of the V here. So instead of having to come down and meet it here, moving that back will allow you to have that contact on there while also staying up straight. I think that'll feel better for you. So why don't I kick that up for you another inch? You can do also to give yourself a little bit more space. So the hand shape that I'm seeing here is like, I mean, roughly right around here, and that's just fine. Thumb on the side is a really, really good thing, and oftentimes people grip just because they want to control that bow. Yeah. Totally makes sense. I would say that the thumb on the side is going to be really important for keeping that bow to slide out, but we don't need the fingers over here, and that's actually, this position is going to cause some torque here potentially, and it's just going to also expend more energy than you have to. So for the fingertips here, instead of all the way around on this side, I like to open those up, rest them right in the front, and then kind of get used to the idea that they all don't have to be on the very front either. It's okay if they slant away from a little bit, and I'll get back to the slant here. But we're keeping that thumb on the side, and as far as this meaty part of that thumb here, we're just using that as a flat platform. And can you show me your left thumb, or left palm real quick? Left palm, so sorry. Yeah. Yes, so there's that line right there, same thing as mine. We're gonna use that to separate into 2 halves. You got this half that we're gonna put right on, just like I said. We wanna keep this half off though. So in order to do that, if we wanna look at that, there that is, the same line I just showed you. We like to stay parallel. But when guys are parallel, a lot of them like to go on that, but now we're back to touching the sides. So if we can go right on the back of the riser with just that, how we keep this space is that slant I was telling you about, but we do that with the knuckles. And you can't see, of course, your common full draw, so you can use these knuckles that as long as you see them at the highest point of your hand, slanting away from the bow at a 45-degree angle, I call that high knuckles. That's a really good spot to make sure that you have the angle that can allow your thumb to get all the way over on the side. Keeps this right in the back with a low wrist. There's that line right there, and then we got plenty of space to where we're not closing that down. It's going to cause some of that. So it's just simply right here, and it's going to take a while, but the idea is that you can keep your hand relaxed at rest. You come back to full draw here, nice and easy, just like that. You don't have to squeeze or anything like that. Yeah. And so it's going to take a while just because of how much is going on there, but try and shoot for that as much as you can as far as relaxing your hand, and the purpose for that too. Exactly, and there's that low wrist, that last step that you just did, and that's the key, because the other hand grip you were using before, if you were to be about here, sometimes you can create extra space there, which is going to make it more of a space you kind of have to make up for, where when you close that down, that kind of makes it easier for you to fill up the rest of that space. So I'll have you take one more step up, I'm so sorry. And I'll have you focus on as well. So with your feet, could you please face both of them to the window? Very, very good. And then when you pull back that bow, I'll have you keep your shoulders faced to me as well. When you open up, that's another thing that's going to cause a variable in your drawing, as far as you're not going to use as much of your shoulder width. Right on, nice up. And then so with your front shoulder, can you relax that and let it come down, bend your elbow. Yeah, so instead of this, allow this to come down, nice and heavy and settled, and then that, exactly. But then this right arm here, bring it up, lock into underneath the ear, string the nose for me. Nice up from here, very, very good. Appreciate that. Would you like to go through and take a shot? Yeah, stay right at the target. Yeah, really good. I think the bow is more appropriately set for you right now. I'm gonna have you do it again, and the only thing I want you to change is just as far as this, like there's always gonna be a settling in here, but try and stay as tall, extended, and relaxed as you can. Bring the bow up to you and keep everything else the same.
This isn't boxing, bud. You can't keep your chin down for it.
And what I like to do too, oh, I'm so sorry. What I like to do too is like, it's kind of silly to practice standing, but I like to make sure that I'm just, do you know what a marionette doll is? Those string dolls? Yeah. If you're one of those, imagine somebody's above you pulling on that string that's going through your head. You're just gonna be as tall as possible, just with those still heavy and relaxed shoulders. And everything comes right up to you. Yep, nice up and level. Yes, sir, really nice. Yeah, go through another shot, really good. Nice. And so sorry to be so picky. Now, since I saw something a little new on that last one, I think I'll have you do it a third time. And so keep everything technically the same. Don't change anything. Now, when you're in your safety position, your finger behind, and when you bring that finger around and touch the trigger, just try and be a little bit more patient. Touch that, just take a breath. Try and slow squeeze through that. Think about the shoulders instead of your finger. Make sense? I know it seems kind of silly, but think more of this than this. But everything else keep exactly the same. Look really, really nice. Relax is a really important thing about that. Yep, everything up to you. Nice and level with the bow aim. Very good. That was nice and patient. Oh, I'm not gonna make that ear. I'm so sorry. Really solid. Yeah, nice man. Really good.
Nice.
And so it's all stuff that I'm basically changing like everything and how you're doing. So it's going to take a while, but once you get a solid sensation of something that you can go back to and be repeatable with, you'll see everything lock in a lot nicer for you. And this position too with your bow is going to hopefully allow these muscles that I keep going to with the shoulders. They're a larger muscle group that should be stronger over longer periods of time for you. So as far as your consistency, if you can rely on those, that should really, really help you. Nice man. How's that bow feel?
Feels fine.
Okay, poundage. I know we're going to go up to 60 pounds. Let's try that. And if you end up discovering that 60 is a little much, that's something that is not out of the ordinary when you were to increase your draw length. It can, when you're pulling through more of that cycle, it can make it feel a little heavier too. So why don't we try 60? We'll go from there.
The new V or whatever
so
it's
you just
called.
like the fully circled ones.
Yeah, well, I did, but now I want to get a drop away because I'm sick of the whisper biscuits now. After going through 2 different ones, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I need to not. His doesn't seem to do it, and it could just be the arrows that I was cycling through. Mine were damaged, and then they caused this one to do it with the knocks. But yeah, it's driving me nuts, and I can't get any accuracy. I'm like, normally I shoot about like that for accuracy, and my grouping's about like that right now, which is very frustrating.
Right on. Well, that's what we always tell people. Sometimes you can get away with the accuracy thing like inside 40, but I mean, just out west, topography-wise, just you're going to get a lot of opportunities to shoot a little farther. It's just going to be nice to have a nicer rest.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that?
So hoping, I think I just want to get the quad, the Hunter one, the cheap one, because I'm on a budget.
Well, it's a great place to start too, as far as getting yourself into the technology, seeing how you like how everything performs, and also keeps the weight down in the meantime.
Yeah. Well, and my channel is really focused on your everyday hunter, low middle class kind of guy who wants to get out and get it done.
I mean, honestly, I think most of what we have in here. I mean, it's nice to have options just
Oh, yeah.
in the event, but I mean, really, yeah, this is a very bow hunter oriented shop here. We can get target bows and stuff like that. We've got a lot of target shooters who come in, but I mean, all the compounds on the wall and stuff. I mean, all the accessories, it's really geared for hunters.
Nice. So I had the camera off, and I just said QAD or QAD or whatever it is. They have a pretty good warranty policy and whatnot, so that's awesome. This will be the first time I've ever used a drop away rest, so I guess it's time to see what all the fuss is about. It's crazy how well these videos do. Like, it's crazy how well these videos do. Like, I'm not a huge channel. We got 15 or like 1,200 subscribers, and but we end up getting 1,000 to thousands of views on these archery shop videos. People just like it.
Yeah, it's just a niche kind of thing that people like. Everybody that comes into here, they've never shot before. They've at least heard of archery. They've seen it. Like, it's a cool cultural thing. It's been around for a long time. Brings people together. So everybody, at one point, like has the desire to like try it or at least kind of learn a little bit about it. So there's certainly a draw. No pun intended.
Yeah. How'd you get into archery?
Well, so my family's a bunch of hunters. Most of them hunt rifle as well, but we've got property back home that we hunt off of. And I did a lot of marching band when I was a kid, so I wasn't a hunter when I was a kid, but just always growing up around, you know, deer being shot and stuff like that. And Cameron Haynes was the guy that my cousins were following. My cousin Ty has a bear attitude, so that was the first bow I ever shot, and he was watching a lot of Cam stuff like 2013, stuff like that. So I've been following Cam for about 10 years. Just knew he lived out here, just knew the whole elk deal, and then started following some RMEF stuff and just some East Coast projects to get elk reintroduced back in Kentucky, Pennsylvania now, stuff like that. So that's always been really interesting, and I just had more time ever since I got out of the marching band thing. So I got my bow in 2020, I shot Matthews, took the bow safety, hunter safety stuff. So I've been shooting for about 4 years, and then came out here about 2.5 years ago. I've been working here for about 2 years. So it's just been just a general acclimation of knowledge and not so much skill. You should shoot more than I do, but I mean, really, it's just a really cool thing. It's a favorite job I've ever had. It's really cool. Like I say, the culture just brings people together. It's a really cool spot to people. Like, people get happy when they come here. You know, it's a happy place. So it's just cool to be part of that that experience for people. You know.
Nice.
Moving back home here soon though, so that'll be cool to kind of take what I've learned and head back home. And never shot a deer. Yeah, so I've been like, you know, finally make it full circle and go home and like do a little hunting on the property where I kind of developed a love for it all, stuff like that.
And there's honestly no feeling like dropping a whitetail in the big woods. I actually started hunting compound because I came out here. I used to hunt compound a long time ago, but I had become pro staff with 10-point crossbow. 10-point crossbow.
Sick.
Yeah, and then I moved out here and you can't hunt with crossbow.
Yeah.
So I got rid of my crossbow and said, all right. I've been watching Hunting Public, really like those guys, and I was like, they shoot bears, so I'm gonna shoot bear.
Those are the guys that do a lot of stuff with the range fairy, right?
With what?
With the guy who calls himself the range fairy, right?
I don't know.
I forget. Anyway, he's a funny guy.
Yeah. I know they do a lot of public land hunting, which is my kind of shtick too. I really like to do public land if I can.
And so I am gonna go right ahead and redo your D-loop. It's just almost entirely common when we change a rest anyway, but I noticed this D-loop doesn't have the knock sets in between.
Okay.
And so we tie those in between to make sure that it doesn't scrunch down like this one has.
Oh, gotcha.
And also, when I was talking about reserving the center for an extra $15, a lot of times we find that we do that on a D-loop, especially it doesn't have knock sets. It kind of helps displace that energy and prevents it from really cutting in and preventing causing the separation there. So.
Something that you always wonder.
How fast you run?
Yeah. My guess is. All right. Let's take guesses. We have no idea how fast that's going. We know it's at about 62.
Normal bow speed.
So okay. So what most modern bows are pushing, they're like 250 to 300, sometimes 325. But my guess is I'm going to be at
260.
Oh man, I was just about to say it, but now I don't want to say that, right? So my guess is 265.
I was gonna say 265. 270.
270. You're going up? Okay, I would have went down maybe.
Okay, fine. 263.
263. Okay.
I'm gonna
260, 265.
I'm gonna be a Mookie Fancy guess 255.
255. He's probably the one that's spot on for that. It's a cheaper bow and everything, single cam. So 255 is a guess from Luke.
I'm more thinking the arrow grain weight too.
Arrow grain weight. Yeah, he's right. The arrow grain weight is a bit more. So so we got 250, 255. To what? You changing?
No.
All right. 255, 263, 265, and 260. So we'll see how this goes
I'll
out.
still be here, so.
And hey, put your guess in the comments. How about that?
Nice. How about that?
Everything
Joe,
goes
buddy?
off this.
Got it. Okay, thank you. $251.
251.
I still beat you.
251. So that's where we're at.
He won.
So now we know Right on. So that Luke definitely won on that one.
I'll take a second one just in case, but if it's off, it's going to be by like 1 feet per second. This is pretty consistent. Just
Nice.
We used to not have the quartered version, but then once we got the quartered, it cleared up really nice.
$251, dead on. Consistently $251. So one thing, you know, a lot of you guys do like those species EV because they're at the right price range and everything. It's been a good bow, kind of hard to get tuned and whatnot, but 251, and we've got it tuned. We've got it up to as high as it can. This one can go for some reason. I don't know. It's weird, but we'll get there. But we did upgrade the glide on there. We upgraded the peep sight, and we've upgraded now we've changed to a drop away rest, to a quad rest. So those are the modifications we put on this, and I think it's going to be a killer. Keep in mind, guys, I generally don't feel comfortable shooting beyond 40 yards. So generally I'm trying to be within 20 yards of the animal. So 250 from being 20 yards away there's no problem with that. All right, guys, so I'm tightening this in. You've got an adjustment here, and you've got an adjustment in here, and we're gonna focus on getting it good left to right first, and then we're gonna get it up and down, and then it should be sighted in. And so how you do this is you chase the arrow. Okay, he's hitting low and left, so I need to move the sight to the left, and we'll get that dialed in, and then I'm move it low, and we'll get that dialed in. So let's start with the left. Okay, so it's going to the left, right? And quite a bit to the left.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go over quite a bit and see where that is. All right, buddy. I want you to take it and shoot it, and I want to see if we are shooting now. Aim for the same target, and the goal is to get it centered, basically. Make sure you're doing it smooth. Don't forget to not drop your arrow. Just let it hold the bow on target, you know. Perfect. Do you see that? So we might have to come back this way just a hair. So we go just a hair to the right, but I actually don't think so because it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks just about
Let's get it up, and then we'll see if we have any adjustments there. Yep. Now do that same shot. Make sure you keep the bow where it goes and everything else. I wanna get a good picture here. Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't walking much at all.
Okay. And that could be, and we can dial it in more when we get. Let's do one more round, both you and I, and then we'll be done. See that?
Yeah.
I am on, man. Broken Arrow's been incredible. They've been really good. You think so too? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been great. So. All right, guys. So that's our video today. We had a great time getting these bows ready for hunting season. You know, it's hard to find shops, weirdly, in the Portland area, and I was fortunate enough to find them online. But Broken Arrow Archery is definitely a good place to go. Really good people. They're super open about helping beginners. They're super open about explaining what they have to do, and super patient as far as, you know, dealing with the kind of bows that you're using and everything. So I would highly recommend you guys coming out here if you need any of your bows tuned, any bow work or anything. And man, I'm really excited to get out there and try this new rest. Oh yeah, and I do want to make a point. They do have reasonable prices. So if you're like me and you're a hunter who's not good on all the finances and everything, they have equipment that you can actually, you know, manage to afford and all that kind of stuff. So that's really important to me because I'm just your everyday hunter, like a lot of you guys watching. But definitely come on out here and give some support to Broken Arrow. Yeah, let's get out there and see what we get. So until next time, God bless. If you liked today's video, please like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on all the new content that we post regularly.
Also, if you would like to see more from Truax Outdoors, check out our channel where we have playlists with hundreds of other videos like this one. And as always, until next time, God bless.